Okay, we are going to be doing a portrait, which is a picture of somebody. What you're going to start with, and you can use a ruler for this. Many of you know that I don't use a ruler because remember, there are no mistakes in art. Once you have a border, what you can then start doing is adding patterns into your border. I love zigzags because they are simple and effective. So I would decorate my whole border, and that means going all the way around. Obviously, I'm showing you an example, so I am rushing. You will have more time and you won't need to rush. After you have decorated your whole border, you may also use letters and words if you would like. So you don't only have to use patterns, but I'm just showing a quick example. Stay home at the bottom. Don't know if you can see that over there. And after you have your border, you are then going to start with your portrait. You can start with a face shape. After you have that face shape, and you can see I'm working really lightly with my pencil, so if I'm not happy with anything, I can erase it. After I have a rounded face shape, I am then going to start from these lines, so not a teeny tiny skinny little neck. You are going to start about here, go and do a nice thick neck going into shoulders. Now is actually a great chance for you to actually put your fingers around your neck and feel how thick that neck is. It is actually very thick. After you have your lovely thick neck and your shoulders, remember shoulders are very broad, you are then going to take that circle or your oval for your face and you are going to divide it into 3 sections. You can see my top section is a lot bigger than my 2 bottom sections. Now you can see I drew those lines very lightly because those are our guiding lines that we are going to use to just show us where we want to put everything in that face. Now we are doing a portrait of our President Cyril Ramaphosa, and it's very relevant because he is in the news often, and I'm sure you've seen him on the TV. What we can start with is on the top line, we can start with his eyebrows. So I'm going to draw some nice thick eyebrows over here. After you have your eyebrows, on that bottom line, the very light bottom line, you can start his nose. And I'm just doing almost an and a little line and a circle for his nostrils, and then I'm going to do 2 bracket lines next to his nostrils. You do not have to draw it like this if you don't want to. You might have a different nose, it's up to you. After you've drawn that, you can see the nose actually leads up to the eyebrows. So we're going to go back down lightly with that pencil, adding a bit of shading. After you've done that, you can see he has very dark smile lines, which is really great. You can see he likes to smile a lot. And then you can go into his lips. The lips would be about halfway between that section over there. And I'm rushing. Yours is going to be much better than mine. So please take your time when you're doing it. If you want him smiling, you would have his lips open and you could see a bit of teeth. I'm going to have his mouth shut and add some shading in there. Darker line for the middle of his lips. You can see how I'm doing that, and you can have a chin over there and smile lines again. And then when you get to his eyes are quite close together. Don't forget an eyelid. And that eye shape is almost like a leaf shape. We would have the inside of his eyeball, and you can see I left a little dot over there to show that there is light coming in. You can also show that he has some bags under his eyes from being quite tired. He also has some wrinkles that we're going to add, and his hair almost goes like this. Now there is something I've forgotten, and that is ears. Believe it or not, ears are quite big, and you can see in that section over here we're going to add that ear. Remember, we also have shadows and dark areas within that ear, so do add them. And don't forget to add different lines. Shadows within his face. And he's got some wrinkles coming off his eyes. Another eye over here. Don't forget the eyelid. Bottom of his eye. Again, the pupil. Leave a little white dot. And you can draw what you see. He also has some wrinkles along his nose. And I will be back in 1 minute. Okay, your picture will look much better than mine, and you're going to focus on what the hair looks like, what the eyes look like, what the nose looks like. Don't forget the ears. Once you have a rough sketch and you are happy with it, you can then take a Koki or a fine liner or a permanent marker, and you can add those lines in that make you happy. So my Koki looks like it's dying here. So once you have those, you would go over your detail, all of your patterns, and anything you've done, you would go over it now, making sure you're happy with what you've done. Now's your chance to outline everything, so you can bring in everything you are happy with, and if you're not happy with it, leave it out. So that's a great part about art, is there are no mistakes, and you can always change everything you're not too happy with. You can see I'm rushing. You will have much more time, so please take your time, put some effort in, make sure you look at all where the wrinkles are, add them in, add the hair as well. You can see I am rushing because I don't want to keep you for too long, but after you have outlined everything and you are happy with it, what I want you to do next, and I am rushing, is I want you to either take Kokis, permanent markers, pencil crayons, paint, and you are going to be using your primary colors, that means red, blue and yellow, in your border. And once again, remember, you will have pattern all over your border, and what you can do is you can focus on doing 2 colors at a time. So for example, on my top bar, I might do yellow and blue together because those are 2 primary colors. On my side, I might decide to do yellow and red. On the bottom, I might do red and blue. So you are going to alternate those colors. After you've done your primary colors in your border, you are going to come up with a pattern using secondary colors, and you're going to leave your president, Mr. Ramaphosa, you're going to leave him black and white, and I'll be back to show you that in 1 minute. Okay, I'm nearly done. I just wanted to show you very quickly that if you just color in like this, you're going to have lots of white spaces that won't look great. So if you are coloring in with Kokis or pencil crayons, if you outline your section first and then color in, it makes it look a lot better and more professional. Now, I do understand that not everyone will have Kokis at home. People might not have paint or pencil crayons, and that is okay. Don't panic if you don't have the necessary materials that we are using. You might be able to find different things in your house that works really well, and you can always do a pencil drawing, leaving out the color if you have to. just a reminder, I do want you to practice your primary colors. Remember, those colors are blue, yellow, and red, and that is going to be in your border. Make sure your border is effective and nice and bold and colored in properly, or painted if you prefer to use paint instead. And then your background of whoever you've done your portrait of, please make sure you're using the secondary colors. So that would be your purple, orange, and green. You do not have to copy what I've done over here. Your picture might look completely different to mine, which is totally okay. It's actually better if your picture looks different to mine, because that means you're using your own imagination. But what I do want you to try and practice is your portrait, and make sure that you are trying to draw what you see. Break it up into shapes and draw the shapes that you see. It makes it a lot easier to do. And then try and remember your primary and secondary colors. Now you can probably see that I don't have many art materials here actually, so I have found some cookies which I am using now. Don't panic if you can't find what you need. Just try and do your portrait, and if you can't find paper or pens or cookies, you may also do your portrait on your iPad, but I would prefer that you do a paper version of it if you are able to. I am going to very quickly show you an almost finished version of my picture. There we go. You can see I have rushed my picture. You will have more time to do it, so please do it and take your time and make something you are proud of. Hope you have fun. Bye.